I just realized that the gift you gave me had Shmali engraved on it. These past few years, this brand has been especially popular. Actually, Tian Hao had long ago seen the engraved letters Shmali on Lu Jinian's first gift. Back then, she didn't know what it was, nor did she know that this brand produced all kinds of gifts. Up until around 4 years ago when she saw a Shmali gift store on the high street. That's when she knew that those letters were the name of the brand. Lu Jinian's tone remained elegant and calm. That brand's gifts aren't bad. They're great. Tian Hao sounded like she really agreed. After a while, she said, "Do you know the touching story behind this brand?" "What story?" "I saw on Weibo that this brand, Shmali, was an acronym for See How Much I Love You. They say that the founder of the brand was a lovesick man. The only reason why he created this brand was to confess to the woman he loved, but the gifts industry was too competitive. The popularity of this brand was low for many years before it grew popular. Then this story has been shared on Weibo. So there's such a romantic story." "Yeah, it's really romantic." Tian Hao's words had a hint of envy. "That girl is so lucky." Lu Jinian smiled without saying a word, as he piggybacked Tian Hao through the gates of Miangsha Garden. "See how much I love you, Shmali." Previously, the gifts he gave her were quite cheap, but they had deep meanings. He personally engraved those words onto the first gift. Later on, about over 4 years ago, when they had already stopped keeping in contact and he had become rich, he then officially founded this brand. It only sold some cheap gifts, and the rent in Beijing was expensive. At first, it didn't make any profit. In fact, it made a loss. Back then, his assistant even said that he wasn't business-minded and recommended that he close all of his branches. He refused to do so for no reason other than because it was the best confession he once gave her. "Shmali, see how much I love you." When Henroshu called the hospital, Xu Jiamu had already fallen asleep and Tian Hao had already left. It was quite late, but since she knew that her son had woken up, she called the housekeeper to drive her to the hospital. The road from the Xu family to the hospital coincidentally passed the street in front of Miangsha Gardens neighborhood. Henroshu always thought that her son didn't pay attention to what was out the window, but the housekeeper driving suddenly slowed the car down. Henroshu furrowed her brows. She raised her head and saw the housekeeper staring straight outside the window. Who knew what the housekeeper was looking at? She asked her, "What's the matter?" The housekeeper heard Henroshu's voice and pointed out of the car window, saying, "Mrs., look, it's Miss An Hao." Henroshu followed where the housekeeper was pointing to see Tian Hao, who was carried on someone's back. The person carrying her was Lu Jinian.